Hi there. Welcome to Encompass Yourself. My name is Kelly McKinstry and I am your transformational guide. So for today's video, I want to talk about digging for buried treasure. So what I'm referring to here is that Jupiter is in Scorpio and actually entered Scorpio last October in 2017 and will be there in that sign until November of this year. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up for those who have not been taking a deep dive and taking advantage of that to explain a little bit what that means and why you may want to take advantage of it right now. So before I do that, let me say a little bit about the planets themselves. So the planets are like little, we actually like big storage banks of data. So it's very similar to the Akashic records. So if anybody is familiar with that, if not, there's a million things you can Google that. But it is all of our thoughts and our actions and our deeds and all of that that is stored. It's data that is stored, right? So so it's stuff from now, from our childhood, from our past lives, family lineage. It's everything is stored, right? And with energy as well as the planets and everything, everything goes in a cyclical fashion, right? So as these things are stored, then at the perfect timing when we are supposed to either deal with those things. So it is essentially our karma, right? So with them being stored, it's like throwing our stuff out with a boomerang. Boom, it goes in the planets, and as they cycle around, again, at the perfect timing, whether it's lessons learned or things that it is time for us to, for those things to surface so we deal with them at the appropriate time, at the perfect time, divine timing, they will come back. So and it's not just us, it's our individual stuff, and it's also our stuff collectively, right? That comes around, and in the perfect timing, it drops down on us, and it's time for us to look at those things. So Jupiter in Scorpio. So Scorpio, I mean, if we think about Scorpio, it is Scorpio is like Sherlock Holmes, right? It's the sign that wants answers. It's also the sign that is ruled by Mars as well as Pluto. So Pluto is the ruling planet of Hades, right? So Scorpios, in essence, are pretty fearless about going into their deep, dark shadows and shining the light on there or discovering what is in there, right? So it's not always bad stuff, right? It's sometimes your hidden talents and it's your desires, so there's a lot of richness in the soil. I mean, even if you think that all the stuff that we have stuffed down from our childhood may be scary and we don't want to look at it and whatever, but it's always at the appropriate time when it resurfaces for us to look at, then it's just divine timing, right? It's divine timing for that. And it's always for our greatest good. It's never punishment, ever. So Jupiter is the planet of it's benevolent, right? It's a huge planet. It is the planet of luck and expansion. So if we think about Jupiter, Jupiter is equivalent to Santa Claus, right? So with Jupiter being in Scorpio, it makes our stuff a lot more less scary. Right? It's Jupiter is encouraging us to go in there and unearth our stuff, see the richness in the soil. I mean, when we think about what is in the richness of the soil, right? It's kind of like planting a garden. What is in the soil? Right? It's the nutrients in the soil, the most nutrients, the greatest stuff, the richest soils always produce. They bear the greatest fruit, right? So, so what is in our soil? You know, go in there and see and unearth it. Go play in the mud, right? So it is. This is just a big, brave, deep dive into the shadows and acknowledging. It is acknowledging all of our things that are surfacing to be healed, to be asking us to look at right now, and being able to have the answers, right? Um, and and live our best, greatest versions of our life, right? So an easier explanation, so all that, let's put it in a quick little nutshell. So a quick little nutshell is we're being encouraged to take a good look at our deepest, darkest wounds, our core wounds, our childhood stuff, as well as unearthing our gifts. You know, I'd be willing to bet that you have had some taps on the shoulders and being encouraged in some sort of way to do some sort of change or to deal with something, right? So, and Jupiter being on the other side, you know, he's the big gift giver. A man, you know, remember, he is Santa Claus, right? So sometimes the cave and stuff is not as scary as the stories that we create in our head. So be courageous and make friends with, you know, if we think that there's monsters, maybe they're not monsters, right? Maybe you just have some really great, fantastic treasures that are there. Maybe there's some big old trunk of gifts that are waiting for you in there, right? So you will be rewarded on the other side for the courage to take those steps. So go have fun. Go play in the mud. Go get dirty, right? You never know the treasures that lie waiting for you. Okay. Go encompass yourself with yourself. And if you haven't subscribed or liked yet, go ahead and do that so you are alerted when I put out new information. So go have fun. Go get dirty. I encourage you, have fun, and leave some comments when you do that. And I would love to see what happens and the richness that comes as a result of you taking that deep dive. So go have fun. Be well.